G'day people, we're at East Perth train station and there's a closure on the PSP at the moment. I was looking at this the other week wondering where the detour was going to go. Well, on the way up to Bayswater this morning I actually ran into the detour. So I've already done it south going north and I didn't really realise I was on the detour, so I only started recording about halfway through it. And I've got to say, I was quite impressed with it in the main. It was pretty clear, except for a lack of maps. Now, if this detour is going to be in place for a month or so, it'd be nice if they just had a map at each end showing where the detour is going. So before you start on it, you've got a rough idea of where you're off to, and if any signs are blown over or being nicked or anything like that, you know you're on the right path. Now, it looks like have I already missed it? Because I actually came back across the road there, but there's a sign here saying go straight ahead. Okay, I don't get it, because what I want to do is I want to head left towards the bridges, and I thought that would have been crossing the road there and going down to the river and then going around that way, but that signage there seems to indicate I can get through here. And there was no sign back there telling me to turn left. So either things have changed in the last hour or there's a sign missing somewhere along this detour. And again, this is where a map would be really useful. And right, here we go. It is in fact closed. All right. You're missing an arrow up there on the road. Yeah, it was supposed to send me across the road. There's a left turn arrow missing. Well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to have a really thorough look just to see if I missed anything. Maybe it was hiding behind a tree, maybe it had fallen over, maybe it was hidden behind another sign, maybe I was talking too much and not focusing on where I was supposed to be going. I don't know, but I guess we'll know in about 30 seconds what the answer is. But look, from here, okay, I've got to say in general, the arrows, the signage and all the rest of it's good. These are large signs. They're generally well positioned, except for that one that's missing. See where the guy's crossing the road? That's where we're supposed to be going. And you can see from this direction, from about 100 metres away, you can clearly see a cyclist symbol, a detour, and an arrow pointing across the road. And all the way along, Killington coming in the other direction, that signage was very clear. So, okay, I'll do a U-turn here and we will just check the signage once more to see if I'm blind. I'm having a really good look and I can see signage across the other side of the road there that's pointing me off where that other cyclist is going. And I'm having a look on the grounds, I'm having a look everywhere, and I'm not seeing anything. What I suspect they probably should have done is just done a back-to-back sign on that stand there, rather than having it single-sided. That would absolutely do the trick. But look at how nice and big those signs are. They're great, much better than what they've got up at Warwick, that's for sure. Okay, we've got some more clear signage over here as well. This is good. I like how they've got bike symbols. Makes it very clear who this detour is aimed at and where we're supposed to be going. Nice big arrows. And the word detour. The word detour helps a hell of a lot. All right. Again, we can, from back that turn, up here, we can see this other signage really clearly, which is good. Now, I'm assuming this is sending us onto the footpath. I could go onto the road as well. I came up on the road. Let's go down on the road because that footpath is pretty narrow and sketchy up here. It does turn into a bit of pink shed path down below after this next intersection, but even then it's pretty scaly old shared path, like it's real, I guess you call it 1960s style stuff. Okay, and look here, there's an arrow telling us to keep on going straight ahead. Not terribly clear from the road, but it's probably very clear from the footpath. I like that, a bit of intermediate signage to tell you you're on the right track. And from here, that sign right down the bottom there, very clear. You know, you can see the bike symbol, you can see the arrow. Even with my glasses on, I can see it now, it says detour. So they're certainly not lacking for clarity and volume of signage. This is good. Just got to make sure you don't hit the bollards going around the corner. Now, this detour goes all the way across the Windown Bridge because they've got the bridge shut on one side, and you actually have to go across on the, well, whatever the other side is, the side closest to the Garrett Bridge. Now, poking out from behind this tree, I saw there's another sign telling us to go straight ahead. Yep, there it is, can see it now. And this path off to our right, up past the power station, this has been closed off. We can see the signage as we come around. I like how they use the cones and those poles across the top. So that's really nice and clear. I'm doing well so far, apart from just that one missing arrow on the other side. Again, if they'd just ridden through and done a check, that would have become quite obvious. Now I know I turned right up here somewhere. Okay, there's a right turn sign. It is a little bit of a kind of confusing, bamboozling mess up here, but that's because the path kind of branches off in different directions. When I came through here from the other way, this was a little bit confusing. I reckon the best thing they could have done is just put 2 lines of cones around here, whoops, like that, showing you where the detour actually goes. So you'd have a combination of the arrows and the cones telling where the path is. And I think that would have worked really well. And we come up around the corner here, and there's a nice big, well actually, yeah, there is a nice big clear sign there. Now, from here, I'm just going to go back and show you the other direction before I go across the bridge and back. So here, see how the path kind of goes like that, and it's like an A. So when I came down here, there's a lady jogging. She went up there and then turned around and came back. It'd actually be quite easy to do that. I almost did the same. So that's why I would do that with cones. Doesn't need a lot of them, just to draw the eye and tell you where you're going. Okay, nice clear arrow down the bottom here. You know, they could have put a cyclist symbol on it, but you know, there's only pedestrians and cyclists down here, so you know, it's not like they're detouring cars. Okay, cyclists, pedestrians, and scooter riders, and possibly skateboarders as well. What have I missed? Oh, I saw a guy on a unicycle going north. Oh, prams, yeah, forgot about them. Dogs, uniballs. Any other form of transport that I've forgotten about? Okay, now from here, looking ahead, I can see the detour signage way, way back, at least 100 metres, because it's a combination of the yellow arrow, the yellow detour, and then the white pedestrian and cyclist logo. That combination really seems to work, and that size really works, and it's in a good spot. The only thing you got to make sure you do is stick to the path and go around the bollards, and don't take a shortcut across here and run into that gate. I know they've got like a red reflectory thing on it, but it's not what I'd call super clear. Now again, you could go up here on the path to my right, the pink path, but I'm going to stick to the road and we'll see what this is like. Now there's no intermediate signage along here, but there's also nowhere to turn off. There's no side roads or driveways or anything. Now here, I would have an intermediate sign go straight ahead, right there under that no standing sign. Now if you notice, there is in fact one over here, but you don't see it as you're coming up the hill because of that parked car. Now we're on the left, sign's on the right. Maybe it's very clear for people coming up the footpath. Yeah, probably works for them really well. But for those that choose the road, I'll just duplicate it with another sign. Just a small thing. These are the kind of things that come up from doing a pertinent audit or a pertinent check. Right, a bit of dust from the truck. Signage there is pretty clear. I'm going to turn right. I thought for a while they would have sent us left. We would have gone up to the traffic lights and crossed there. I was a bit surprised when I came here this morning and found that we were going this way instead. All right, signage there's kind of hiding behind a tree a little bit, but because it's really large and yellow and all the rest of it, it's actually reasonably easy to see. Now one problem of course is getting across this road. And I'm going to point out, you've also got to watch out for people coming out of this side street here. This ute just appeared and he's going to take off as soon as these cars go past. So I'm going to have to wait for them and watch for anyone else speeding out from that side street. Thankfully no one. Now we're back on the PSP. Don't really need an arrow here to tell me where to go. This is all good and the roadworks end. So look, in terms of, so far in terms of signage, the size of it, the clarity, the placement, the volume, I think they've done very well. You know, just a quick, if I missed the turn, yes I have, talking too much. I could have made it across the middle there. Well, I guess that's what happens when you don't have a thing here. So look, what this really shows is even though this is a well set up detour with lots of signage, it's still possible to miss stuff, and this is why after the signage is put up you really need to come out and just double check it, preferably by riding a bike through it. If it's a bike detour, don't walk it, cycle it. And then those couple of little well, oversights, I guess you could call it, would have been picked up. So I'm going to go back down the footpath just for completeness. Oh look, from here that straight ahead sign is totally visible up at the next intersection. So again, we're probably looking at about 100 metres and that sign is perfectly placed. Like I said, not that visible from the road, but if you're on the footpath, it's fine. Just got to watch out for vehicles with their tow balls sticking out over the path as we roll down here. But see again, I think if they'd done a check where they used both the path and the road on a bike, those kind of things would have become apparent. See, if I rode up the footpath here, that sign there would be super visible from a fair way down here, I imagine. If I look back over my shoulder, yep, I can see it. I can see it. It's kind of now half hidden behind a car, but I mean, you're slogging your way up a reasonably steep hill there. You're not going to be going super fast, so you'd actually have plenty of warning to see that sign. Right, we've seen all of this. I'm going to fast forward until we get over the Windan Bridge and we'll see what it's like on the other side. Well, I'm now over halfway across the Windan Bridge and I can see something yellow up ahead. I mean, it's pretty obvious where I've got to go because there's only one way off this bridge, so I'm not that worried about the lack of signage. In fact, what I could see was in fact an orange scooter which someone has stupidly parked up here. Why would you put one of these e-scooters up here? I don't know. Hopefully the company will come and nab that and take it away. Okay, that sign's kind of fallen over a little bit. It is in fact pointing me this way, but it's on a bit of a tilt. Alright, this is fairly clear coming around here. Tell me where I'm supposed to be going, and I'm back on the path. Is there anything down here to say it finishes? Nope. Okay, I'm going to pull over here and we'll go back and we'll have a look at it in the other direction up to the Windown Bridge. Yeah, okay. So that sign there says path closed ahead. Okay, that's good. They've put in some advance notice. Then we've got detour ahead, footpath closed, reduce speed. Okay, all good. And then use other footpath closed, detour. Yep, all good. Maybe could have enhanced that with a bike symbol, but what the heck, I'll give that a pass. Now, up here there's a sign on a pole and it says pedestrians and cyclists straight ahead, and it kind of points that way. And then there's another sign that comes into view here which says turn that away, and then there's another sign which I can see pointing me back this way. I'll just pull the camera out and take a photo of this. So again, hopefully that's actually got a photo. Okay. I think that sign up the pole is a bit confusing. Now the interesting thing is, it's actually just, it's not stuck in the ground, it's just kind of held there with a couple of weights on the bottom. There's another one actually just there to my right as well. So they could have just twisted that around so it faced in the right direction. And up the top here, there's a nice sign pointing me to the left. Oh, in fact, look at this. It's pointing me left and right. So, yeah, that sign's obviously fallen over on its legs. But no biggie. Now again, if I come around here, from this direction, if I come up this path, so there's again one of these temporary signs on a pole, which is pointing me off to the left. And again, that's probably quite confusing because that one is implying we're heading towards Optus Stadium rather than wanting to go straight ahead to go over the bridge. So yeah, the signs on poles I'm finding a little bit baffling and perplexing, but all the other stuff, I only call it A-frames, spider legs, I got no idea. That stuff is pretty good. Now what if I just come from this direction? Oh, because there is in fact another sign if I come from Optus Stadium, and it says straight ahead. So that one's fine. It's just the other two which are a bit wonky. So what would I give that in summary? I'd say A-. It's pretty damn good, I got to say. Just a couple of small tweaks would definitely give it an A or even an A+. So, and those issues, in fact, there's another temporary sign there on the other side as well that I missed on the way through. Yeah, the issues could have been discovered by simply doing a ride through like I did. And I think what that shows is, main roads or council or whoever really need to mandate that kind of thing in the tenders or the contracts that they're letting for temporary traffic management. Doing a walk through clearly isn't working, and because you're going a lot slower when you're doing a walk through. You really want to get someone to ride through who's got no idea about the detour, someone who's not connected with the project, someone who hasn't read the traffic management plan, doesn't know where the detour goes, hasn't seen a map in advance. Speaking of maps, yeah, definitely needs a map in each direction. I think if there'd been one on the far side over at East Perth station, I would have known I was having to cross the road, and I wouldn't have gone all the way down to the tunnel looking for the detour. So the good thing about a map is it can actually kind of, what would you call it, paper over problems with the signage. Because you look at it and go, right, the map's sending me that way. I expect there should be a sign here. There isn't a sign here. Look, I'm just going to follow the map. And if you put, it's a belt and braces approach to doing it. If you just got the belt and the belt collapses, your pants fall down. Got braces, you're all good. But yeah, once again, the size of the signage, the visibility, the placement was all very good in general. Can't fault that. I think there was sufficient signage, that's for sure. And there was just that one curve, I would have put cones on it. Now, if you were walking through there doing an inspection and you were going about 1/3 the pace of someone riding, then you've got a lot more time to process what's going on and figure out where exactly it is you're supposed to be going. But when you're riding and you're looking out for potholes and glass and sticks and dogs and stuff, and you don't have as much time to process information, things need to be really, really clear. And like I said, on the way through, the jogger in front of me seemed to be caught out by that corner and was unsure where to go, because obviously when jogging, she was probably going about 3 times as fast as someone who would be doing an inspection on foot, where you're ambling along in steel cap boots with a traffic management plan, checking off all the signages in the right place, and you know where you're supposed to be going. So that's why you need an audit. All right, that'll really do.